Hi, this is my first post on this blog vlog thing. Hi community. My name's Mara. I'm the wife slash adoptive mother. Um, and I'd been doing tons of research on my own. And my main concern, as I'm sure is with tons of people who are looking to adopt or currently adopted or have young ones who are adopted, is social media. And when Brad had started this up, I've been super anxious about it and hesitant about it because I don't know the legal ramifications, if there are any legal ramifications for socializing that we are adopting. So I actually have gone and done some research. First and foremost, I ran into was the legality of doing any social discussion. So, if you are like me and concerned about talking publicly about your adoption, your current journey, and where you are in it, there are certain laws, and they're different from state to state. So definitely go look up your particular state. I did find our state on the adoptivefamilies.com. I recommend it because it was really nice in being able to just break it all down for me so that I didn't have to go through all of the jurisdictions and the legalese, as I like to call it. So the big thing that I had was whether or not this blog would be considered advertising for a child. So A, it's not. And B, if it were, in our state, it is legal. So adoptive parents can advertise for birth parents in our state. Can out-of-state residents finalize an adoption? Yes. Can adopting parents use an adoption facilitator or other paid intermediary, to which our state doesn't have that addressed in any statutes. So our state also has answers the question what birth parent expenses may be paid and in what time period. The answers are medical, legal, counseling, reasonable living, including transportation, lodging, clothing, meals, and excluding gifts over $50, and educational expenses. And all of this can be paid up to 6 weeks postpartum. There is in this state a putative father registry, which if we have an adoption from within our state, it's nice to know, and that was something that I was very appreciative of, is that our state does require that the father be aware or attempt to be informed that their potential child is going up for adoption. I think that's really fair, and it's more than a lot of birth fathers get the chance for. So I'm glad that it's an option and that it's something that is offered. There's also the big thing, these are like the big questions that we get that have like major stress factors. So for our state, when can consent to adopt be granted? It's up to 72 hours after birth. So anytime after the 72 hours, there is the availability for consent. Until then, it's technically not legal or binding. So when does consent become irrevocable? If consent is revoked, is return to the birth parent automatic? So consent is revocable after the final hearing. Return to the birth parent is not automatic if it is revoked. Birth parent, though, can request a hearing to decide on the revocation, but they must prove fraud or duress in signing surrender, and that revocation is in the child's best interest. Are post-adoption contact agreements legally enforceable? Yes. Although the agreement must be in writing and approved by the court before the adoption decree is issued. The agreement is enforceable until the child reaches 18 years of age. So this is going to be interesting. I've been reading up on how many post-adoption relationships there are between the birth parents, the child, and their birth mother. as well as for the adoptive parents and their relationship going forward with the birth parents. It's people, so people being people. I'm not sure how that really works. Like, there's gonna be a point where you won't want it enforced. Kid turns 13 and turns into a typical teenager and doesn't want to have anything to do with you or their birth parents. It's very difficult to legally enforce them to communicate with their birth parents, because it's usually very difficult to enforce them to take a shorter shower or clean their room. So, I don't know how well that's going to go. Yeah, that's the only one that kind of gets me, is the legally enforceable part. The nice thing is, I know for Brad and I, we're really open to trying to negotiate through that adoption relationship with the birth parents. I do a lot of family heritage, so I'm very understanding of how important it is to know what your history is, to know where you come from. And I can really see how that is going to be depending on how they feel and how everything goes, but I can see how that gap, or the not knowing of that, really can leave you confused as to who you are. Like, where do I come from? Is a question that I always ask, and I constantly find out new stuff about, and I can see that for a birth child and anybody who's really displaced. Yeah, so legally, we're okay by doing this blog. We're in the clear. We're not advertising for a child. We will be pursuing our regular means, which is currently through a non-for-profit adoption agency. We will be seeking an adoption attorney soon. Yeah. So, hi, and thanks for watching.